Greetings, everyone. Greetings. Welcome to another edition of Jamaica Celebrity Talk. Welcome. It's Saturday, 7:30 p.m. Jamaica time, the usual time. And you know something? I'm really excited about tonight's guest. You know, one of the beautiful things about being able to do this is I get to interview some of my brethren them. Now, I mean, if you're not Jamaican, you might not understand the term brethren. I'm talking about a brother from another mother. The husband to a sister from another mother. I think one of the most influential persons in the YouTube community. This man has assisted so many people. He has done so much for so many. Modest, a multifaceted, brilliant musician, music producer, songwriter, singer in his own right. Just an amazing person. So I said, you know what? I wanted to make this very special because usually on a Saturday night we have two or three guests, and I said there is no way I can do this with this gentleman. You all know him as TR. You know him as the TR Show. There's so many other names you could reference him as, but I just want to say thank you all for being here. I know this is going to be an amazing talk. It's not really an interview. We just want a reasoning with this amazing person. So without further ado, welcome to Jamaica Celebrity Talk. Welcome to our talk with the one and only, the big boss himself, TR. You know, if you are able, please share this out. I'm beginning to see that. I'm realizing that I don't know if other content creators are having this problem. YouTube is simply not sharing out my stuff, so I have to be doing it in other means. So let me bring on the big man himself, the boss, Nary X, aka Duke, aka TR. My brother.
What going, family?
Why, you know, listen, you know, when I started to do this show, I said, you know what, I may have on TR, but I want to bring him on the right time, you know, when I feel it's the right time. And I am just really excited to have you here. People, before I even start this talk, it's not an interview with us, a whole reasoning. You know, I'm a reggae artist, actor, etc. And I got on YouTube because my sister, hey sis, Tony Damian, my sister who is married to TR, SF Rose, you know, she was visiting and I had her captive here at my home. Myself and my family, we miss her. It's COVID, why I'm gonna see them again. So yeah. And you know what? We had such a great time because she convinced me to get into YouTube, and I have, you know, it's been going well for me. I've had my struggles, etc. Caroline Hillbilly, 1981, bruh. You should kill me, man. I've not been to your show for a minute. But here's the thing: TR is a hard man to get. And listen, people, me think me work hard. This man it's crazy. This man, listen, sometimes talk come on this man upon YouTube. Me I say, where man upon YouTube them time a man in. Me see the man upon Facebook, the man is on the man everywhere. The other day I call him in the studio. Me I say, no man, one human being can't do so much. So this is not natural. Bruh, Sid, Vermont Paint, big up yourself. Jane, what's going on? So I said, you know what, I have to bring this man on the program, and you know, I kind of put him in an awkward position where he couldn't tell me no. Hey sis, SF Rose, what's up? So here we have the boss himself, the one and only, the great TR. Welcome to the show, sir. Welcome.
Yeah, man. Greetings and thanks for having me. You know, this platform has been growing massively, and I feel extra special to share space, to share rooms, to share a platform with the great actor, presenter, singer, recording. You know, I can keep going on and on and on. Thank you for having me.
Brother, the pleasure is all mine. This is just, as I said, is a reasoning tonight. And, you know, people know you as the multifaceted TR. When I first met you, when I first saw you, you were a bass player, right? Then I have come to know you as a singer, songwriter, record producer, And if you notice, I reference you as a YouTube social media influencer because there's no doubt that you are. You are. Many of us owe our career here as YouTube content creators to you. Let's start from the beginning, sir. House of X Entertainment, what I go and big up yourself. Give us a little background on TR. You know, back in the day when you had like a picnic road up and down, where are you from originally and what was your early life like?
Okay, so I was raised part time in Saint Anne. My father was living in Jonestown, Kingston at the time, basically when I would be born. But then he went to visit his parents in Saint Anne, and my mother was pregnant with me at the time, and then she gave birth to me right in their home, right at in the house. So I was never, what should I say? I was not as lucky as my other siblings to grace the beds of the hospitals. I was right there at home. And so basically, I was raised and schooled in St. Anne for my school years. And then in college years, or should I say from primary school to high school, and then college days now I was in Kingston. So
Which high school did you go to?
Brownstone High.
A good school, that man. Good school, my boss. Not as good as Kingston College, but it's a good school. You graduated. I suspect you did well in school.
Yes, I actually did well.
You did very well. I'm not surprised because you're one of the most knowledgeable persons I know. We can talk on any subject, and this man can just talk, and he's going to be giving you facts. So, which college? So you left and you went to Kingston, and I guess you rekindled your relationship with your father. What was the impact of living with your dad and going to college? What was that like?
So actually I lived with my parents right up till I was 15. Then my mother was the one who left for Kingston, and then my father remained in St. Anne. While I was in Kingston, I was supporting my mom. So when it was time for me to go back to college, there was a struggle because when I was supposed to be going to school, I was working to help my mom because my mom had started a whole new life. She was married for all these years, and then she branched out on her own now, and so she needed to do her own thing. So now I was living with her, and as the man in the house at that time, I was kind of part breadwinner, so I had to be helping with the rent, helping with my little sister and all of that. So my college went on a total pause for a number of years. And when I started college, it was actually I who worked and started sending myself to school. So that was basically what my beginning life in Kingston was like.
So, how many siblings did you have growing up?
I have five. I have five siblings, but one was kind of on the outside. So I lived with four, and then one was out because my mother had a outside child.
So, where did you fall? Were you the eldest? Were you the youngest? In the middle? Where were you?
I was kind of in the middle. I was second for my dad and third for my mom.
Okay. I think I can't really relate. I was the eldest, so me get blamed for everything. So that means that your older siblings got blamed for whatever you did. Do you still have a great relationship with your siblings?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I think I have one of the greatest siblings relationship that could ever exist. Very good relationship. So yeah. I especially my eldest brother. He's the one that we have a exceptional that I have an exceptional relationship with. He's the only one of my siblings that I never had an argument with.
Wow.
My entire existence of knowing him, we've never had an argument. And even when we disagree on anything, we would just, talk it over normally and respectfully. We never had a fight. We never had an argument, which I did with my other siblings.
Okay, so you're in Kingston. You are the breadwinner. You're trying to help, help your mom and your younger siblings. And this young man who does really well in school stumbles into music. And I know that as Jamaican myself, most people don't understand that up to about 10 years ago, when a child said to their parent, I'm going to become a musician or a singer, your parents say, what this? Because if Jamaicans, not anymore, but at that time, Jamaicans had a tendency of treating people who wanted to get into the arts as what this means worthless. You could be doing something better with your life. When you when music hit you, or you found music, because I really want to know which one it was. Most people kind of fall into music. How did the Duke, the big man, get into music? What was the catalyst?
My music journey is very historical and actually very unusual as well. As per usual, most Jamaicans start their musical career in church, whether by singing on the choir, whether by just messing around with a guitar or a drum set in the church. I was just like one of those, except unlike for other people who had the privilege to practice music with other great musicians or to have a teacher to learn from, my musical journey started in my dreams, literally in my dream.
Wow. So
So
you have to expand on that. You have to tell us what do you mean by that?
so what happened, my father was a very religious person. He Everything was about church for him, and we were raised like Christians. So even though I was young and tender in age and all of that, I was living a Christian life without being baptized, because my father was so much into Christianity that we were raised as Christian and not being a baptized member of a church. Anyway, while I was in church, I developed a love for guitar. I used to look at the guitar players playing, and I'm like, wow, these guys are just so good. And then I remember one night, there was two brothers at the time, one by the name Dave and the other by the name Don. And my bigger brother used to say he was Don, and I used to say I was Dave, and we used to just use like sardine tins to make guitars and use them to play. But one night, something interesting happened. I went to my bed and I had a dream that I was playing the guitar. And while I was playing the guitar, I was amazed in my dream of the chords that I was playing on the guitar. I'm like, wow, this feels so real. And when I was awakened from my dream, I was so upset that this wasn't reality. But what I did, the morning after that dream, I broke into the church and tried what I saw on the guitar, only to realize that everything that I saw in my dream and I transferred it to the guitar was real. I was like, oh my God, it's real. It sounded like a real chord. And then I started playing my first three chord then. So that's where my music career started as a musician or as an
So,
instrument player.
so the music literally called you.
Yep, absolutely.
Wow, that's remarkable. Did you get into trouble for breaking into the church? I don't never know.
Well, at first they didn't know, and so I was saved from getting a lashing for breaking into the church, because they wouldn't know, because there was some windows that we used to call them pain windows, where you could
I
just
remember those.
lift the end and just pull a blade out. So
Yes, I remember.
I used to just pull out two blades, go in, do my thing, come back out, put back the blades in, so nobody knew that I was in the
So
church.
you were doing this for a while, basically self-teaching. You're teaching yourself
Yes,
how to play. So
yes.
you dream the cards, get up, go to the church, and practice on the guitars there.
And then one Saturday, because it was a Seventh Day Church, one Saturday, the guitar player, the original guitar player, did not turn up to church early enough. And when church started, I grabbed the guitar and started playing some chorus that they were singing. And everybody was like wondering, everybody was like shocked, mouth wide open, eyes wide open. And I remember the deacon got up to say, I must some coffee walk practice him get, because him no have no music in him family. Him father no play, mother no play, him no have nobody we play. There's no instrument at home. how did this guy get to practice? And my father did not allow us to have friends. So I
Right.
couldn't go over to a friend to learn guitar. So where did this happen? No one knew.
And you never told them, right?
No, 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 no. I can't tell them the secret.
Hold on a second. Let me just big up some people in the chat. The boss himself, Triple News. What? Where I go on Triple News? Vivette, what's going on? Sis, yes, I realized that I said bass player, and I had already shared it to everywhere. And I said, why did I put that there? But hey, hey, White Ford Blog, what's going on? I enjoyed that live the other night. It's great we have family here. It's always wonderful to have family. So you start playing in church, right? And I realized because whenever I don't come as often as I should anymore, but when I used to come very often, I always thought that your father must have been a preacher because you have a knowledge of the Bible that very few, not even Rasta, very few people have that kind of knowledge. And you kind of just answer that question because that's one of the questions I had here. That I say, I need to ask you if your parents are actually, any of them are pastors, etc. So you answer the question. So music calls you. You are self-taught, clearly.
For
You have a
most
natural,
part.
right. After the church process, what happens then? You go to your parents and say, listen, I think this is what my calling is. I need to get into music. Or is it that you continue to hide and get better and better? What happened leading into your becoming a professional musician?
So music was a hobby. So my parents couldn't even fight it. That was a on the side type of thing. I
Right.
was I was really in the arts as a artist, as a painter, and I could do a lot of portraits. I was very good with my pencil. I would sketch anything that I see. And my father was also an artist, so he was happy that I was following in his footsteps. So that was my dominant role back then. And then the guitar would only be on a Saturday. And because it was church, nobody would even believe that this is something that I want to do since I was at church and there was nothing else to do at church but to,
But just play the guitar.
yeah. So it was like a pastime thing. So I didn't have a fight with them at that time. But eventually I did not just have a problem with my father or my parents, but I actually had a problem with even the church. So eventually I became a Christian, and I also at that time became the best guitar player at the church. As a matter of fact, in the entire organization, I was the best guitar player. But it didn't stop there. Eventually, after moving to Kingston and meeting with other people and realized that music was on a different level, because back in my days, because I'm not as young as everybody would think I am, there was no YouTube, there was no online anything for people like me to learn or be influenced by any guitar player. And my father did not allow us to listen to radio to hear anybody on there either to be influenced by. So it was just the mediocre musicians in the church that I used to use to say, all right, I want to be like this guy. But when I moved to Kingston and the world was open to me and I realized that music was far past what I knew, I'm like, oh my goodness. So then I launched into meeting with other guitar players and learning different styles of playing. And then I got in love with reggae. And then I got my first gig as a reggae gig, and I went on Morning Time. That's TVJ.
Really?
Yes.
Whoa.
And after TVJ, the church saw me. So I was in the newspaper, I was on the TV, and of course, the church banned me from playing music in the church. Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I was kind of surprised. I would have thought the church would have said that's our TR. That's our Duke.
No.
No.
They said I went secular, and basically it's almost like I defiled myself by getting involved with reggae music and secular people. So they said that they wouldn't allow me to play in the church anymore. So that was when I became a full-fledged musician because I loved it. So I said, okay, if I'm not playing in the church, then I might as well go full secular. So I stopped playing gospel and went straight secular. So
But
yeah.
there's something that you have not. I mean, and I think what I know of you, it seems to be a part of your personality naturally. At no point in this conversation have you mentioned money. It
No.
sounds as if you were just playing the music because the music called you. The spirit of the music called you. You started to play. You fell in love with it. And so were you ever thinking at any point, I'm going to become a musician, or was it just you wanted to get better and better and better as a guitarist?
Actually, music had become so much a big part of me until I was not even saying, all right, I want to be this or I want to be that. I felt like I was it needing to be developed as
Right.
a brand. So at no point in time I'd be like, I just want to be a guitar player or I just want to be this. For the whole time, I felt like I was it. I just needed to improve, and I needed to find ways and means to improve. And as it is for money, of course, I played in the church for all my years, and even till today, I think I played in the church for at least about 15 to 20 years, and I've never collected $1 from the church. And even when I eventually owned my own guitar and had to buy my own strings, I still never got $1 from the church to play guitar. And so my entire early life, it was just for the fun of it. I thought it was just a side thing, and I didn't even know that people could make money from music. So for me, everything music was just free and fun. So as long as somebody say, hey, you can you play? I said, where? Somebody say, hey, can you do this for me? I said, when? I never asked how much. And because of this, actually, a lot of people abused my ability to do this because since I wasn't asking, nobody was giving. So my
See.
entire life was just free music.
So when do you remember your first paid gig and how that impacted you as a musician, as an artist?
I don't. I'm not sure if I remember exactly where I was or who was I working with when I got my first, a first cash from a gig that I performed. I don't remember when that was, but I remember when I got my first cash. It was still for me that was like extra cash because I was already doing my 9 to 5, and I was working in this particular office, and so my job dressing up in my not as the way I dress now, but I used to go to work in my tie and collar shirt with collar and
Yes. I
and
can't
gen-
visualize you like that though, but I like you. But
and gentleman mood. So when we go
yes.
out and do a gig, as a matter of fact, I remember I did a gig with Empress. That's the young lady that married to the golden guy.
Yes, yes, I know who you're talking
I
about.
think
Yeah.
one of my first gig that I got paid for was with her. And I remember when I went to do that gig that night, Empress had to pull my shirt and she said to me, Uno can just like de church for a little minute. Why not look like church people? So I had
That's
on my
funny.
long sleeve button down shirt and was well tucked in, and she said, no, no, me a rebel. You can, take out no shirt out of no pants, man.
Yeah, that's exactly the kind of person she is. All right,
Yeah.
so clearly, you were always multifaceted. You are just one of those people. You can do many, many things. And I think the first time I saw you on stage, I'm trying to remember if it was Morgan Heritage. I'm not sure if it's Morgan Heritage or if it's Vegas. It's one of the two people that I'm almost certain. That's remember the first time I remember seeing you on a stage. But I had heard people talk about you, prior to that. Because, the industry big, but it's small. And everyone referenced you as an extremely good musician, exceptional musician. Uh, so hearing that the whole process for you for about 20 years was really just like a side, something else I do for the sake of doing it is kind of remarkable. When did you decide this is what I'm going to do for a living? Because I know that must have been a very difficult thing, particularly if you had a 9 to 5 job that was paying the bills. What happened that made you say, you know something, this is what I'm going to do?
So when I made the decision officially to go full time music, so while working in the office, I used to I used to I used to do part time at Edna Manley. So I was going to Edna Manley part time, and then I realized that part time was not going to work. So I registered fully for the college. So now I was in college full time, but I still had my job. So what I would do, I would go to my job early in the morning, sign
Yeah.
in, and leave and go to school and do my first two courses would last from 8:30 to 12:30. And now after 12:30 I would just go back to work and finish working. So I was doing full-time job and full-time school.
So you had that kind of flexibility with both. I mean, the
Yes,
kind of work you were
yes,
doing, you had that flexibility. So
yes. I could just sign in and put my document on my desk and pretend like I'm doing something, and I would just leave them there and sneak out and go to school and then come back to the office and then finish my work, and nobody realized that. But I created a relationship with my inspector, which was a female. So she used to cover grounds for me when I am not at work. So as long as I snoop out, I would take her car and go to work. I mean, go to school, and I was doing this for almost 1 year, until one day within this particular year, we got an audition with Conscience, and we started working with Conscience. However, Conscience had a tour that same year, and I remember using all my departmental leave, all my vacational leave, and I finished all my leaves, and I had nothing left. Even my sick leave was I exhausted my sick leave, and there was nothing left. And when I started stopping from work to do rehearsals, I started losing, like some of my paycheck would be cut short because of my absenteeism from work.
Right.
But one day, when I decided that I was going to tour, and all my days were finished, and the office, because I was working with the government at the time, they summons me to go to court to try me because of the amount of days that I took off. And so
What?
yes, I had a trial in court for for abandoning my job to go to school. And when they wrote me that letter, I just write them back a letter of resignation. So I didn't bother to go to court. I just resigned, went on tour, and when I went on that tour in 2011, I think that was when I decided that music is going to be the way, because I gave up my job for music. So music was from 2011 until now.
Whoa, that's, you need to write a book, man. Yeah. One of the reasons why I decided to do Jamaica Celebrity Talk is because I realized that there are so many Jamaicans who are overachievers, like yourself, and sometimes we don't we don't give these people their, Jamaica have a way of talking about people after we have left this we have transitioned. And I just wanted this to be a way of documenting people like yourself telling your story, because um, your story is absolutely unique. Everything you're telling me is unique, because it's almost as if you are being led without realizing it. You are just being led to do this particular thing. So when we met, I realized that by that time you had become a YouTuber, which is a whole other kind of, like, nothing to do with music. Like, this is a world unto itself. I've been doing this for a year now, and I'm still scratching my head half of the time wondering what the heck am I doing. And it was Sis SF Rose who is teasing me and say, yes, I saw that you no longer come. I see you, sis. I still love you. I was invited to do YouTube, and I had no interest. And I'm going to tell you the truth. The first time I watched anything on YouTube outside of a music video, Sis said, "Come and watch TR." And I used to say, how can anybody sit down and watch someone talk for a while? Like literally, I used to say, how can anybody do this? Let me tell you something, bro. that show, it was like a flash of light. I had never seen anything like that. The control, the way you were able to just you just held our interest, and at the same time you were teaching. It was, I never ever experienced anything like that. I think I've said that to SF Rose a million times. It just blew my mind. In fact, every time I do a live, that's my that's my go-to. That's where I'm trying to get to. But I was told that you basically just decided one day you were going to do YouTube, and everybody around you said, "Really, what you talking about?" And you just did YouTube. What prompted this? What prompted it? And B, how in the name of the Almighty were you able? Because it sounds, I mean, when we listen to you, when we watch you, it's like you've been doing YouTube before YouTube was invented. And I realize, you have not been doing YouTube for maybe more than 3 years? Is that too far? 3 years?
2 years. No, 2 years.
2 years. After 1 year, I feel like this, a bumbling idiot, right? And you have mastered this thing. When and why did you decide to do YouTube? And how were you able to learn so much in such a short period of time? I don't know if you don't mind explaining this to us.
Yeah, the first thing that I can say, that I'm a very fast visual learner. Anything that I see, I have a very good picture memory, so I can normally see things and catch on to it. So I'm a very fast learner. I think that's the very first thing that I can say. Years ago, when I first made my YouTube page, it was not to be a YouTuber. I was so poor that, and I tell you, I'm always thinking ahead and trying to be that person who find a way and a mean to survive. So while I was going to college, I couldn't afford a laptop. I didn't have a good phone. I couldn't afford anything. I couldn't even afford a USB, a thumb drive. And so what I did at that time, I created a YouTube page for my storage. So when I do my classwork, I upload it to YouTube. So
I have never heard anything like that before. I've got to admit, that's a first.
Yes, so YouTube was basically my hard drive, where I would upload my stuff and leave them there for reference, for a future time. So I created the page in back in the days, and it was sitting there. But then I remember going to Sweden or Europe on a tour with Dwayne Stevenson in 2018. And I had a person along with me that was making some videos. And I started uploading those videos that this person made. And after that, I realized that I could probably start uploading and, probably eventually earn something. So when I researched it and they said that I needed 4,000 watch hours and I need 1,000 subscribers, I'm like, whoa, this is going to be a long road. And I remember posting one of my videos on Facebook, and I told everybody, because I had a big following on Facebook, and I told them that they should go follow my YouTube page. And I remember for a good 3 months, only 19 people subscribed to my YouTube page. And I'm like, what do I do to get people to subscribe? I begged my family. I sent my link to people, and it just coming like nobody cares about YouTube for me. So I'm saying to myself, okay. But then one Sunday afternoon, I remember one of my cousins send me a link and said, go subscribe to my YouTube page. And I said, of course, no problem. And I said, would you do the same for me, because I'm trying to grow my page as well? And she said, yeah, sure. And so then I had 20 subscribers and she had 3. But then I realized that 4 days later, she passed me at 20 and had 100 subscribers. And then she passed me again and reached to 200. And in 5 days, she passed me again and was at 300. I'm like, what is she doing? How? Because I'm looking at her page and I'm like, I don't see anything on her page that would interest anybody so much that she's going so fast. I'm like scratching my head. How is this happening? And then one day, I got a notification that she was live. And when I went to her page, I'm like, what the hell? She was doing this whole networking thing, helping people to grow their channels. And I'm like, wow. Oh, so this is how you're growing. There was a whole group of them. And I'm
Yeah.
like, okay. So then I started to do the same thing. But funny, I was beating her at her game because I actually made it to 1,000 subscribers the same weekend that she got to 1,000 subscribers.
Wow, that is
And
amazing.
and so after that 1,000 subscribers, the rest of it was history. I just kept going hard and going hard and going hard and going hard. And I never stopped. And then I become a pro networker. And then I became basically the home of networking. Everybody who
Yeah.
wanted to grow their YouTube page, of course, TR Show would definitely be the place to be. You can come there with 900 and leave with 1,000. And that's how it used to be back in those days. So that's how it all started with YouTube.
But you know what is remarkable, and it says it's something about your personality, and I mean, listening to you, I can understand why you and SF would have gotten together, because you are both very driven individuals. You are driven. If you're going to do something, you're just going to do it. And I mean, I know this about SF. If she says share your sister until death. If she says share your enemy till death. I mean, and and I see, listening to you, I realize where the connection is, because you're both driven. And like I said, when I saw you do this, there is no way for me to I think I said this to you a long time ago, but I have never seen, like, I've watched other people, like, what is his name, Nick Nimmons and these other people, and I'm like, okay, but what you do, because what you have created is, you created a family. I mean, like, I can say Vermont Paint is my family. Sid is my family. These people are my family, and I found these people because of you. You created this massive community. And not only did you create this massive community, you helped all these people. I've stood up and watched you help people grow their channel to 1,000 and beyond. And you don't collect a dollar. I've seen you do this, and I'm like, wow, unreal. Now I have to ask you this, because I've spoken to a few other Jamaican influencers on YouTube. And amazingly, it's not as big there's not as many as you as I would have, thought. And most of these people told me that the hardest thing for them was to get Jamaicans to support them. Was that was that the experience you had?
Always is. And I think always will be.
Why do you think that's so, though?
Um, I want to find a reason to believe why Jamaicans don't support each other that much. I've been searching for the reason. I can't really put a finger to say, is it because like, Jamaicans don't like to support something that does not benefit them. As long as they can be benefited from a program, they will support it. But if they are not getting anything from it, I doubt they would just do it for the sake of support. I don't know. I can't totally say what the reason is, but I never really get support from Jamaicans. And as a matter of fact, I remember I was so upset in one of my streams. Literally, I've never been so upset in one of my streams, because I was saying 95% of my subscribers were foreigners, not Jamaicans. I had like 10%, or 5% Jamaicans subscribing to the TR show. But then one day I remember 2 Jamaicans came to my stream, and they said they want subscribers. And the way they asked for it, they were so disrespectful. And I said, no, that's not how it works. And they literally called me a B-man in the show, and, called me a P-hole. And they disrespected me so bad. And I was saying to myself, boy, maybe Jaja have a reason why I never make a lot of Jamaicans subscribe to my page, because they were so disrespectful. The first time I ever got disrespected on my program was some Jamaicans. And so I said to myself, said, come like it be better off with me foreigner them, because Jamaican are so disrespectful. So It is sad to say, but yes, my very first time being disrespected by any YouTuber, they were Jamaicans, and I had to block them.
Um, I'm sorry to hear that, but I have heard from other. I mean, like I know two other influencers like yourself, and um, they've both told me similar stories. Like one, she gets support from Jamaicans, but it's the diaspora. It's not the Jamaicans living in Jamaica. It's the
Right,
Jamaicans
right.
in England and Toronto and the US. It's just not the Jamaicans. And what I have realized also is in looking at the Jamaicans who are popular with Jamaicans, with the exception of a few, a lot of the content is not content you would ever do. You would not do that content. I mean, I've seen some stuff that I said they cannot be monetized because there's no way YouTube would allow this kind of content. But they're getting, when they do a live stream, thousands of people, but the stuff is just really borderline, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You being such a YouTuber, I mean, because you surprised me. I thought it would have been like a 3-year thing, 2 years, which meant that you have grown 2 channels within a 2-year period, and I think there's a third channel now, to a place that is really unimaginable. You have a natural knack for doing this. Why did TR decide, something, I'm gonna, outside of what you saw your cousin doing, what was it? What was the deep-seated reason why you said, something, I'm gonna help people grow them channel? Was it simply because you had gone through the same process, or you saw that it was an easier way to build a base?
Actually, when I started helping people, I was not even thinking about myself because I had gotten to where I really needed on that platform in terms of I had my 4,000 watch hours, I got my subscribers, and I was monetized. And I was doing really well. I would say I was one of the more successful YouTubers among the groups that I was in.
Without
I
a doubt,
was
that's true.
Yeah, I was definitely one of the more successful ones. But it always brought a joy to me. I know how it was to want to get to 1,000 subscribers and begging and pleading and wishing and hoping that you would get to it, and you just can't get to it. So when I realized that I had a platform with a whole family, a whole crew, that we could come together and help other people to achieve this goal, it made me feel good because, as a matter of fact, other people would even get excited just watching because I used to have the numbers highlighted on the screen. So you would literally see the numbers moving, and some people would come to the stream and say that, TR, I've been at 950 for the past 3 months. Can you help me to 1,000? Ah, yes, sure, let's go. And in like 10 minutes, they would have hit their 1Ks, and it became an exciting scene to watch. Like, not only from me, but other subscribers would say how exciting that is, and they can't wait until their day came. And this was like just the anticipated moment for everybody. So it became a thing. It became a thing that people look forward to. So that's how it happened. It's not like
But
I
it's,
decided that this is something that I wanted to do for the rest of my life, but I was enjoying it so much that I just kept going.
but the thing is, though, I mean, seeing you do this, because I've seen other people attempt to do the same thing. I mean, they have a good heart. Some of them are good at what they do, but your show is just entertaining. I mean, it's kind of, it's for me. I like I say, every time I do a live, I don't do anywhere as much as I used to because of the. Honestly, I can't tell you, no family. I'm in constant pain now. The side attack kill me. So, I mean, even to do this broadcast, I'm drugged out of my mind. So if I ask anything weird, don't feel weird, little brother. But what I'm saying is, the thing that I noticed about your live is I felt like I was home. That's the only way I can put it. I felt like, when you tour and you come home and you like cornmeal porridge with a little bread night, and you get some nice cornmeal porridge with some cinnamon night, and whenever I stepped into your life, it feels like home, like you're just home, you're with family. So it wasn't just about even and yes, for me it was exciting to see the numbers going up. I mean, I got monetized in, I think it was 3.5 to 4 months, and it was because of you and SF Rose and people like Tony and stuff. But every time I needed assistance, I would pick up the phone and call. I'm a terrorize SF Rose. but there's a thing that you created that it's unique. The camaraderie. I don't forget what I'm saying. It's for me looking on. It's a gift. It's something that you have that is unique. I mean, you are a remarkable musician. You are a song producer. You are a singer. I still think you need to sing more, not less. And you are unimaginably influential in terms of YouTube. Now, there's a question that I need to ask you that apparently I was asked to ask you by another person, a social media person. Now, there is, I don't know if you've heard this thing in TikTok where the persons of African descent are saying that TikTok is not assisting the people of African descent as much as they're assisting the people who are Caucasian. Have you heard about this?
No, I haven't.
Right. This a new thing it looks like it's about to trend. The TikTokers who are of African descent are saying they will do a dance video, for instance, and put it out. Their numbers seem to be repressed, but when a Caucasian person steals their very own dance movements and do the same exact thing, that person gets millions and millions of viewers. And someone recently said they think the same thing is happening in YouTube. I can't speak to that one way or the other. I don't know enough about YouTube. I mean, my only problem with YouTube, honestly, is that they no longer share out my, what do you call it? You know, people don't get my, what you call it? And I don't get your, you know what I mean? The notifications. I don't get none of the notification, and I don't think anyone get from one no more. We don't know what's going on. But do you think there could be any truth to something like that?
I definitely wouldn't say it. I definitely don't think that there's any truth to that on YouTube, at least. I'm not sure if that's what's going on
TikTok.
on TikTok, but on YouTube, definitely not. What I do know is that YouTube constantly upgrade its policies, its guidelines, and a lot of features are being upgraded monthly. And just like any normal human being or any normal business personnel, you try different things to make your platform more feasible for you earning extra cash or whatever. So YouTube now is just the same thing. You know, the boss and the owners of YouTube, they are just trying out different things. So some of the things that they do in their upgrade, it was a trial. And sometimes they put it out for 3 months and say, let's try this and see how it works. And if it works, they just continue with it. But a lot of features that YouTube add to the platform was a trial. And then it became permanent because it worked. So I would say YouTube has changed over the years and over the months. Like every 3 months, there's an upgrade. And they add this, they take away this, they add this, they take away that. So it's within the process of doing these upgrades, then we get affected in other areas, like, you know, the notification system became slow.
Obsolete. I don't get anything from you. I'm telling you, I see you more on Instagram than I see you here. I don't see anything from sis. I don't. It's just the other day I was just going through something and I saw Whitefoot vlog and Triple Deuce and heard about. By the way, people, Triple Deuce vlogger's birthday is Tuesday of next week, and he's having a big event. Please go support our brother. You have accrued a tremendous amount of knowledge about YouTube in a very short period of time. I'm certain that you are bombarded with questions constantly about YouTube. I know that I used to call you once in a while and terrorize you, etc.
It's not just you, brother.
Listen, this is how I see it. If me call you one time and everybody I call you one time, that means there's 1,000 persons I call you every day. See it? And sometimes I know some of us, we call SF Rose and terrorize her to terrorize you.
Yeah.
Where do you see yourself in terms of YouTube in the future? I mean, because you're so good at this. And I mean, people like myself, we're hoping that you're going to be around in the next 10 years. Because in the next 10 years, I see you with 1 million subscribers easily. I know this is more than possible.
Mhm.
Is this something you see yourself doing for an extended period of time? With you, or because you seem to have many interests. But what I realize about your interests is that you don't drop one to pick up the other.
That's
You
right.
add. So is this what you think is going to happen with you on YouTube?
Yes, so I can safely say that within another decade, I will still be on YouTube. Except my real plan is not to focus on myself as a YouTube personality, so to speak, but
Yes.
more so like a media personality that streams on YouTube.
Yeah, I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
So
I
I'm
get
not
it.
going to be, on my page saying, let's go, let's grow, guys, let's go, and, that
Mhm.
kind of thing. I'm going to
Yeah.
still be a YouTuber, but I see myself more like a presenter, a broadcaster who is at a TV station, but it's been aired on YouTube as well.
Well, I can see that because you're yeah, one of the jokes I was saying to myself is interviewer interviewing an interviewer, which can be a very very detrimental and troublesome thing,
Yes,
because
yes.
I think you're very good at what you do. I mean, you are a natural. You're one of those people who I could see you on TVJ, I could see you on ABC, I could see you doing this very very easily. Um, will you maintain the family or grow the family while you're doing this?
Well, as for me, I made a pledge to myself that all of the people who were there in the get go, as family, as royal family members, because my whole family on YouTube, I named them the royal family. So we develop, and my reason for naming the TR show and the crew as the royal family was basically something that I used to say in all my live streams. Every time I start one of my live streams, I would do like a devotional type of opening. And then when I start with the motivational aspect, I used to say this particular line. I used to say, we're a family, guys, and we love each other so much that we can't afford to have servants. Instead,
Yes.
um, I am the king and I am the servant as well. And you are
Yes.
all kings and queens and also the servants. So we love each other so much that even though we are kings, we serve each other. So it's one thing or the next. It's either we are all servants or we
Oh,
are
we're
all
all
kings and
kids.
queens.
Yes. Yeah.
So
Yes.
that was where the whole royal family vibration came from. And so all of those who remained a member of the royal family, people like Carolina Hillbilly, people like, well, Vermont Paint was late, but he's kind of a loyal soldier. Triple Deuce and all the people who came over tonight to in the support of a TR. These
Right.
people, it doesn't matter how big I get, and I promise myself, I pledge to myself that if I have 10 million subscribers, I will be looking in the chat room and I'm going to find the SF Rose. Well, I can't. SF Rose is by
Right. Yes.
SF
Yes.
SF Rose is by default,
Yeah.
but
Right. Right.
I'm going to find the Vermont Paints of the world, the Carolina Hillbillies, the Tony Damon, and I'm going to give them the shout out, even if I am a huge personality broadcasting from ABC or BBC or even BET. I'm still going to take the time out to say hellos every now and then to these people. So yeah, forever I will have these people, in my thoughts as those who were the cornerstone of the TR show.
So is the TR show still a regular?
In terms of live streaming, not a regular at this time, because the problem that I had with the TR show, why I couldn't continue with it as a regular, is because after YouTube upgraded and had these new features, it took away some features as well, and so it caused grow streamers, or streaming and networking, to become difficult. So because of this, I had stopped doing it. But because TR was known as a grow stream, and when we do grow streams, it doesn't work. You come to a stream, you help somebody, people connect to them, and when you wake up the next morning, you are in the negative. So you gain 20 and you lose
Right.
25 the next morning. So
Right.
because of this, I stopped doing grow stream, but it was hard to do anything else because I was known as a
For
grow
the go
stream.
stream. Right.
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 So even if I post any content on my page, 100 people would watch it out of 14,000 people, because I have like, all right, I have 14,000 subscribers,
Right.
and 10,000 of them is is from the networking.
I get what you're saying. Right.
So, and because most of the people that are connected to the TR show are also content creators,
Mhm.
so when they are, it's almost like they graduated and no,
Right.
and they are now doing their own thing. So they don't have time to come to the TR show to watch my content. So then that's why I was on a pause. But I am still I am still rethinking and trying to construct something new that would be attractive to new viewers. So I'm in the process of working on something else so
But I mean,
that
the truth is, your content. I mean, everything I've watched. Um, okay, I listen to Nick. I think it's Nick Nimmons. I think you know who I'm talking about.
yes.
And a few others, and they're good. But I think TR is just as good. In fact, in some respects, I think TR is better. And and to me, they are growth streamers. So how do you explain they're still here, their presence? Or
Yeah.
is it a different kind of because I know that they're attached to an app, etc. Like TuneBuddy or something else.
Yeah. There's a reason for that actually. It's basically how they started. So
Mhm.
because of how they started, they are still attracting people of that kind.
Right.
So because I started as a growth streamer, that's why I find it difficult to get that crowd. But
Right.
let's say you started as a gamer,
Mhm.
and you have all these gaming people that was coming to your page, and then you started doing live streams, and the gamers are still coming, and they're still coming, so that grows.
Okay.
So that's why when you are multifaceted, as you say,
Mhm.
what you need to do is to create different channels for different things instead of doing everything on the same page. you
Right.
need you need to focus on one thing, because when the people come to see that, that's what they want to see. So
Mhm.
when people subscribe to your page, when people subscribe to a Peter Lloyd,
Right.
for your singing, that's
Mhm.
what they want. They don't want to come to your page and see anything else, because they were attracted to your singing. So
Right.
what
Yeah.
what YouTubers need to do, like for instance, you were a singer, and you attract all these people who wanted to hear you sing. What you're doing now might kind of be not what they're interested in. So what you would need to do is to create another page and
For those
use that
people.
page, right.
Right.
So then
Mhm.
those people would come to that page for that reason, and then you
Mhm.
would still have the people coming here for your singing. So that's why you sometimes should have a second
Mhm.
YouTube page, or even a third YouTube page.
Yeah.
I have 5 YouTube pages.
I remember we had that conversation. We had a conversation because uh, just talking about myself, I have so many interests that I mean, it's just who I am. I just have all these different interests, and I find I'm doing track and field now, and I have people
Wow.
who just come for track and field, and I have
Right.
people who come for for this Jamaica Celebrity Talk, and I have people who say, why are you not doing the singing streams anymore? The truth is, though, I can say this because we're all family here, is for the last 4 months I've been in so much pain. I am not kidding. I've been in so much pain that just to get through one live stream is difficult enough, much less and if I'm doing something, I have to like do it at the best of my. It's another reason why, like, even Caroline, Hillybilly, and Vermont, I love their streams. But honestly, sometimes I'm in so much pain. I can tell y'all are family. I can't function. I'm not functioning. But we're healing. We're gonna get back there. And I am thinking now of it's just like when you guys said nobody knows Blacklight Records, but they know Peter Lloyd. Maybe we should change the name to Peter Lloyd. And so I still listen. I still call when I need assistance. But okay, there's one more thing I need to talk to you about before we end this. You have evolved into a very proficient music producer. How in okay, so this is like one more thing on top of all these other things. Where did that come from?
Uh, um, I never wanted to be a music producer, so to speak. That was never on in my thoughts anywhere. But after COVID, and I couldn't tour, and I was at home, I started to feel like worthless. I was just home, and if I just practice my guitar all day, SF Rose would have seen me already as a good guitar player. Practicing
Mm-hmm.
guitars is not increasing anything. No money is coming in. Nothing is happening. There's no growth. So
Mm-hmm.
I said to myself, maybe I need to focus on making music. Now, SF Rose, who is a very big supporter of what I do, she was also trying to maintain uh, uh, um, a relationship where I would be close to her at least most of the times.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So instead of me being home and strolling the street and trying to do something to feel like a man, you
Mm-hmm.
know, instead, instead I stay home, stay
Yeah.
home and make music.
Right. Yeah.
So that was how the whole producing thing came by. I was home a lot, and there was nothing else to do but to make music. So I just decided to, because I had a lot of ideas. As a matter of fact, I've always had the ideas of what I would love to hear on a beat, but I
Mm-hmm.
didn't have the tools. So when I got here and realized that SF Rose had, like, she had links with Sweetwater, she had links um this music, all the music stores. She
Mm-hmm.
had a link where she could get things, probably
Right.
for a
Mm-hmm.
little bit less than I would go buy it for straight.
Right. Right.
So then
Right.
I used up all these and just go full out in becoming a music producer.
Is there any hope of yourself and SF becoming a management team?
Absolutely. We're currently looking into that. We just need a couple more things to get ourselves, because normally I have a problem when, like, for instance, managers. I don't think you just get up and be a manager for somebody. The artist making themselves as a content or as a product, for you to invest in. I think the manager should invest in themselves, also. So
Yes, agreed.
that mean when you meet the artist, you can put something on the table and said, all right, sign a contract. In the
Mm-hmm.
first year, we can do this for you, we can do that for you, we can do that for you. So until I can put some things into place for the musicians that I want to manage in the future,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to hold on to that for now. But yes, it's something that I'm planning for in the near future.
Is there any last thing you would like to tell us, explain to us, etc. before we close off?
Yes, a lot of people always wonder how or where my influence came from. I'm a very persistent person, and I'm very consistent. I was always a very spiritual person. I was a minister back in church back in the
Mhm.
day,
Right.
and I still haven't outgrown my religious knowledge and my spiritual behavior from back in the day.
Yeah.
So I still have that. And then one of the thing is that when I talk to a people, I speak to their spirit literally. It's almost like I bypass everything and speak to you. That's why some people can feel so homely in a stream with Tier, because I speak of things that you can relate to.
Yeah.
So
That's true.
not just based on my experience and my spirituality, but I have a deep connection, and I'm a humanitarian, and I believe in people, and I believe in love, and I believe in harmony, and I believe that nobody should really hate a person because it destroys you as a person. So what I would say in closing is, do not waste your time hating on anybody. You destroy yourself. Do not waste your time trying to tear down somebody else so you can be at the top. There is enough space at the top to strive or to thrive, to be
That's
on the
true.
top with whomever you are jealous of, whomever you covet to be at the top. Don't kill them, don't beat them. You can be at the top too, because the top has many rooms. The upper room has many rooms
Yes.
for everybody, so we can
Yes.
all
Yes.
travel up there and go have a room. And so I want to say in closing that family family is everything. And when you have a family that supports and care for you, don't abuse them. into believing that they have to do what they do for you. People do what they do for you out of love. Don't feel like somebody owe you love, somebody owe you their presence. Just know that when somebody do these things for you, they are doing you a favor from the kindness of their heart. So you have to appreciate everybody for their contribution, whatever they contribute to you.
Well, I just want to say thank you again for choosing to be here with us for Jamaica Celebrity Talk. We're talking to the man himself. I know him by so many names, but you all know him as TR. Please, if you have not yet subscribed to his channel, which is ridiculous, go ahead and subscribe to his channel. Follow him on Instagram. He has a great live that he does in the nights on Instagram. It really is remarkable. I've seen some really cool interviews. Please go check him out. Check out his pages and follow him. And you know what? If you are new, please go follow SF Rose. It's my sister. I know she vexes me, but she loves me and she can't stop loving me. I love her. Triple D Scratcher. I will be there at your strong at midnight Tuesday morning. So, guys, he's going to be celebrating his 21st birthday. Triple News. Yeah, man. I am humbled that you chose to come and do this because, it took me, I've been doing this now for about 2 months. And at 2 months no more, I'm asking me, build up the courage. say you come do it. But really, like I said, the purpose of the Jamaica Celebrity Talk is to highlight Jamaicans like yourself who are multifaceted, very successful in many, many areas. And, Jamaica, unfortunately, sometimes we only concentrate on 5 people.
True.
You know what I mean? Like literally just 5 people. And there's so many other Jamaicans living here and in the diaspora who are contributing to the greatness of this country. So I just want to say, everybody, thank you for making it Jamaica Celebrity Talk. Boss TR, thank you very much for being here, sir. This is the only interview I've ever done with. For the first 5 minutes, I was a little nervous because it was an interviewer interviewing an interviewer. But I learned so much about you. And thank you for honestly answering the questions, etc. All right?
Yeah, man. My pleasure.
People, thank you. Big up yourself, my brother. Okay, guys, so thank you very much for making it Jamaica Celebrity Talk. My name is Peter Lloyd. This is Peter Lloyd World. We do this every single Saturday at 7:30 p.m. Jamaica time. And you all know that we do a free concert the last Friday if everyone's called the Royals in concert. We're going to be doing some more lives, hopefully very soon. You'll be seeing me in some of your lives very soon because I'm beginning to feel a little better after 3 to 4 months of this madness called sciatica. So I love you all. Thank you all for being here. You are all awesome. You are kings and queens. Everybody, you want to know this. And thank you for making Jamaica Celebrity Talk. All right. Bless up. SF Rose. Why did I take my card the other night when I called you? Why did I take my card? All right. Love you guys. See you all soon.